So you're still with me?
Can someone give us a sign that you are seeing us, please? I'm sorry. This is the reason why we decided to have the session at 6:05 because of the electric shortage in Lebanon. So welcome to Lebanon. Welcome to Lebanon. Welcome to the place where things happen. Let us just see. Can someone, you want to share the video on your Facebook?
Yes, actually I will.
You did already?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Yes, go ahead and let's see if the good thing with this app, it will keep on recording if one of us gets disconnected. So we don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Let us just wait a few minutes and then we start.
All right.
Ensuring it's visible on Facebook.
Yes, I can see it actually on my face.
Yes, we are, and we have people watching. Okay, now please, I wanna ask everyone who have any interest in asking Rybale question to post the questions on my Facebook. This way, we can read them through the session and answer you. Hello and welcome to our live at 6:05 session. As you noticed at the beginning of the session, I got cut off. It's because of the electric shortage in our country, unfortunately. Anyways, probably we can find a solution tonight with Rybale to that. What should we do with renewable energy? Let me start with the global picture that is so important. The UN, as you all know by now, that I always follow the calendar of the United Nations because I feel those are the rights and this is the standards that everyone should be living by. In every March 20, the United Nations celebrates an International Day of Happiness. And it is for happiness and well-being of every human being on earth. Why it's important? It's important because simply the well-being of humans is within by creating sustainable communities. We're going to discuss today with our guest what is a sustainable community. But before I move to introducing the guest, let me read to you some facts and figures from the United Nations, the sustainable world. Half of humanity, 3.5 billion people, they live in cities today, and 5 billion are projected to live in cities by 2030. 95% of urban expansion in the next decades will take place in developing world. 883 million people live in slums today, and most of them are found in Eastern and Southeastern Asia. The world's cities occupy just 3% of the Earth's land, but account for 60 to 80% of energy consumption and 75% of carbon emissions. All those we're going to understand them tonight with Rybale. Rapid urbanization is exerting pressure on freshwater supplies, sewage, the living environment, and public health. As of 2016, 90% of urban dwellers have been breathing unsafe air, resulting in 4.2 million deaths due to ambient air pollution. More than half of the global urban population were exposed to air pollution levels at least 2.5 times higher than the safety standard. There is a lot to read, and I encourage you to read more stuff about the sustainable cities. Tonight, our goal is to create sustainable communities. We're going to discuss the 10 ways sustainability brings profit to your life, business, and society, the three components that create the sustainable community. With Rybale, our guest, a lovely young lady who's going to start by introducing herself. Hello, Rybale.
Hello, Baja. How are you?
Fine, fine.
This is a very nice introduction. I really like the fact that you have mentioned, and hopefully tonight we'll be able to list how we can help at least in preventing all the negative impacts on the environment that will be happening. I'm gonna introduce myself. So I'm Rybale Hage. I'm a graduate of AUT from 2012 in water resources and geoenvironmental sciences. I work in sustainability. I'm a project manager, assistant to CEO, and sustainability consultant at eCo Solutions Environmental Consultancy firm. We work on lots of very nice projects in sustainability in Lebanon mainly. And we work with schools, we work on e-mobility, we work on events, the communities. We have different stuff that we work on. After my first degree in water resources, I took some certifications and I went towards more certification in the green building field. Basically, I did a certification called the Lead Green Associate in UGA from the US. It's Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. It's a green building rating system. I also got certified in another one called the Green, which is very similar to LEED, but it's the UK version. So I did a training in the UK and got the certification from there. And then I got a third one, which is for the developing countries like Lebanon. It's a certification called the EDGE certification. It's by the World Bank and the IFC. I did the training in India for that. It was a very interesting training. And I also got certified in it. So I'm basically a green building expert more than just an environmental expert. And then I started working here on all the different projects that we will speak about later on. And that's a brief about myself.
That's a lot about yourself. Not that's all about yourself. That's really interesting. Starting with the major, that is water and environmental sciences at AUT, and you moved on. Something that we don't see around, like we see people going always to the classical degrees, thinking that this is something that will provide them with careers in the future. First, before you answer that part, I want to know, did you always know you wanted to end up in changing the world?
I hope I can help in changing the world. But no, I never really thought that I will be where I am now. I just knew that I wanted to learn and to work with something that makes a positive impact, whether it was social impact or environmental impact. I always wanted to do something good in life. So I like to start with water resources, and I'm glad that I took the path to continue in sustainability, and I really love it. And I also didn't mention that I'm also doing a master's in business administration. I'm about to finish it in management. So I also like to combine the business world with the scientific and the technical world. So yes, that's my answer to the question.
So watch out, world. Rybale is ready to change our community, and we're going to do it with her. Today is going to be the first session we're going to have with you, Rybale. This is so interesting, all the topics. I want to just make sure. I want to ask Pamela Nassour, you are listening. Is the Rybale's voice clear, or does she need to check her microphone? Can you please let us know? You have the microphone near your mouth?
I can have it near.
Yes, probably this is better.
Better?
Yes, much better. Yeah, it's much better. Rybale, what's important when we discuss sustainability, it's, as we say, a package, like a puzzle that we have to put together. It's not one component in our community that will create a sustainable community. Can you start a bit by defining sustainability at community level? What are the things that should happen?
Of course. Basically, the definition of sustainability is when you act in a way that meets your own demands without compromising the demands and the needs of the future generation. So whether you are thinking of it on the personal level, or whether you are a business doing activities, or whether you are part of the society, whatever you do, you think that I'm going to do something to collect my own needs without compromising whatever resources that the future generations will need, then you are doing it in a sustainable manner, if you wanted to make it really simple. And
excellent.
Yes,
go ahead, please. Continue.
Yes, and I wanted also to say that sustainable communities, since you were speaking about sustainable communities, is also one that not just combines good practices for sustainability, but it's a community that combines, that promotes the well-being of the people, that has, of course, ecological integrity, but that also ensures an economic security, that ensures good access to all the resources, water, energy that everyone needs, a safety in the community, and happiness, as you mentioned before as well.
Yeah, and as you know, UAE are the first people to allocate a Minister of Happiness, Minister of State of Happiness, and her job, the lady, the minister, is to ensure sustainability on every level, to ensure the well-being of everyone on every level, environmental, economical, and society. What part should we start with? What part do you want to start discussing? Individual, economical, or society?
For me, I'm really interested about the one related to business, because I think businesses now make the largest impact. But you can start with whatever you want. We can start on the personal plan.
Let's keep the business. I would like to keep the individual till the end, because this is how I want to end it, how everyone has a role in the community. At business level, at economy level, okay, we're talking like having new companies and having companies working in a sustainable way. Can you please explain to us all the points under business economy level?
Of course. When I say business economy, what I mean is what is the economical profit that a business can achieve from doing sustainability measures, because we all know that if you do some environmental actions or sustainability practices, you are doing good for the planet, you are doing good for the environment. But it's good, especially at this stage where everyone is worrying now about the economic situation and about their businesses and their personal life, to know how can sustainability help you as people do better economically and make profit from doing good, not just for the environment and for the planet. So as a business, it's a responsibility of every business to act sustainably, but it's also not that difficult to integrate sustainability measures within your businesses. How? Let's say you are whatever type of business. If you are, for example, a university, you can integrate sustainability measures within 3 dimensions. First dimension is on the building level. Second dimension is in the daily activities at the offices, for example. And third dimension is at the product level, whatever product or services you are offering. At the offices, you can have You can have lots of measures that can be integrated within the daily practices and within the culture of the organization. For example, you can set one team that works on sustainability that will set a vision and that will identify what activities or measures can be implemented at the company and start implementing them. Like, for example, reducing paper consumption, reducing printing, setting up more digital communication or interaction. Like, for example, now we are doing a meeting together online. It's much less consuming than going to an actual meeting, spending fuel and attending that. So maybe this can get integrated into the culture of doing meetings at your company. You can do workshops for your staff to train them on how to consume less, how to be eco-conscious, and you can eliminate, for example, single-use plastic. You can implement a policy for sustainable procurement whenever you want to buy anything, instead of just going and buying the first or the least expensive thing that you get. You can at least look on how environmentally friendly this product is and ask your supplier to provide you with these options as well. Whenever you want to do an event or you want to do some activities, every kind of companies usually do events like regular or yearly events. You can take an extra step to do this event, environmentally friendly event, like make sure to reduce energy, water, waste consumption at this event. So these are examples of the measures that you can take at the office, whatever kind of company you are. The second dimension, it's on the building level. Some of those measures that I'm going to list now can be integrated if you have an already existing building that you want to add on some features, or if you are lucky enough to be designing a new building, a new campus, a new branch for your company, then you have lots of additional measures that you can integrate and that will drive really good environmental impact. For example, if you think of energy, you can install energy efficient lighting instead of installing the regular lighting. This will help you save a lot on energy, on your energy bills. You can install also sensors to only have the lights on whenever there's someone there. You can have better lighting controls. You can have control over the reflectance and minimizing the glare. You can have better shading control, which will also reduce the need for cooling and heating at the building. You can look at measures that impact your water consumption. And actually, you can decide on those measures based on your business type. For example, if you are a hotel, for example, water consumption is very high at hotels. So whatever measures you do to reduce your water consumption would really impact your bills at the end of the month. If you are an industrial company with machines and equipment, reducing your energy bill will impact lots of your costs at the end of the month. So you can do that based on your type of the work. You can install solar water heating. For water, I was saying you can make sure you have water efficient faucets for showers, for kitchen sinks, for the usual things. You can do a lot. And if, as I said, you were to have a new building or you can impact the design of your building, then there are other considerations, like, for example, making sure it is double wall, it is double glazed, which will increase the insulation and the thermal comfort at the building. You can ensure that you have reflective finishes. Reflective finishes means, for example, on the wall or on the roof of the building, to have a material that has something that you call high SRI, high solar reflectance index, which means if you have a white finish, it will reflect sun heat much more than if you have a dark finish on the wall or on the roof, which means the higher you reflect the sun rays, the lower cooling you will need inside the building. So you will save costs on your air conditioning, for example. These are just have reduced toxicity. For example, if you want to use paint, you can search for paint that has low volatile organic compound, low VOC. It's less toxic. It's you mix it with water, and it's known to be it has less bad impact on your health than the regular paint. So these are examples of measures that you can implement on the building level. And I also mentioned one that you can implement within the offices. And the third dimension of it is your product. If you are a company that makes manufactures something, you can make sure that you have sustainability integrated within the way that you manufacture this product. Or if you are going back to the university example, if you are in university, you can make sure to integrate sustainability within your curriculum. You can make sure to integrate sustainability within the students' activities. You can make sure to market that and make the best out of it. You can do a lot really based on the business type of each company. You can set your own measures, your own strategy, and follow simple steps. You don't have to do all the things that I mentioned at once. You can start with some little steps and start integrating those measures. And then after each milestone, you go back, you monitor what you have achieved,
Evaluate, you assess,
you
and
evaluate exactly. And the best of it is at the end, you celebrate and you tell the world what you have done, because whatever good impact you have done at your company, it not just only improves your brand's image and your company image, but it also makes a good impact on the companies around you, the society around you. You will be an example to follow, and this will be a much bigger impact than what you all did by yourself.
this is actually all the points you mentioned. I have most of them. I just cut off for a little bit because of electric shortage again. I apologize for that. What's important basically is whatever we do, as you said, to publicize whatever we do, to do it out aloud, because like when we speak about what we're doing, we will get advice from different people who have started doing something. The main thing, basically, there are so many things that we can start working on a community, is to have the solar lights outside the houses. Those are very important. Yeah, with the solar heating, because we are a sunny country. Even in the winter, we have sun. It will reduce the electrical use even as well, and this will help a lot. Can we go back? Can we do? You said we discussed here the employee retention as well.
Yeah.
Did you discuss it?
No, I was just listing the measures that you can implement. I didn't go into the benefits yet. So what is it for your company?
Yes, I want to go through different points. If you want me to read them for you, or if you have them in front of you, I would like to go step by step. Achieving long-term savings due to renewable energy installation.
Yes, for example, like you just mentioned, the solar water heating, or even the photovoltaic system that you can install to generate electricity. This is something that, of course, will generate long-term savings, because instead of paying monthly bills on the electricity that you receive from the government, and on the diesel, the generator fees that you pay, and all of that, if you have, if you can if you can produce your own electricity just from the sun, then of course you'll make some kind of investment at the beginning, but on the long term you will be saving a lot for all these bills. And lots of countries, they have incentives for that, like we do have it for the water heater. I know they give you incentives to buy them at the beginning, and then they have a short payback period, and then when you finish like a loan to pay them, you start benefiting from the zero bills that you have later on.
Exactly. And this is something, if I recall well, there was at a specific point, there was the return energy as well that the government was working on it. I don't know what
Yes,
happened.
the grid. I know it is available in Lebanon, but I think that you can. I don't know if it's implemented, but the plan was that you can return if you are producing energy. You can يعني العداد بيبرم بالقلب, and you can return
Eh,
energy to the government,
to the
but
government.
yes, but just net zero. You cannot sell it. Like in Germany, even if you title zero, then you start selling energy back to the government from your own photovoltaic system.
Okay, because this is something that is important anyways. We need to reach that phase where we have more awareness at individual level, whether it's individual home or individual business, to see how the energy can be saved, because it's a cut-off, as you said as well. The main thing, it will be a cost cut-off, like avoiding steep costs due to future environmental changes. Can we discuss that, please?
Sorry, I didn't hear you at the end. It cut a bit.
Avoiding steep costs due to
Yes.
future environmental changes. Can you elaborate on that a bit, please?
Yes. For example, when you become a company that is well engaged in sustainability, you start predicting or taking measures to prevent what's going to happen, not just to mitigate what's happening now. So, for example, I'm going to give you an example that best explains that. For example, if you take the airline sector, many airlines today already started implementing measures to offset their carbon emissions from flying. Okay, because they know it's their duty to give back to the community and to do that. While they started doing, some of them started doing that like 7, 8, 9 years ago. It is just now that some rules or a new initiative in the world has been put in place called Corsia, where they are requesting that from all the airlines. So those who had already planned it and already started doing that, they have it now in place. They don't have to put extra investments on it. Whereas the newly joining company, they will have highest challenges to keep up and to start going into that business. So whenever you start earlier, the better, because you're gonna always, because the world is always going towards better sustainability engagement and higher sustainability practices on all the companies level. So you're gonna be doing that ahead.
Okay, people need to be proactive in whatever they do, even at the smallest scale, and then moving out. And this is something that we're going to be discussing as well. Staff says sustainability awareness and commitment. This, I guess, you discussed in the beginning. But it relates to recycling as well, paper in case, because some companies still have to produce and get paper in front of them and read and etc. So the recycling is one of them. Can we add few tips for staff sustainability as well?
For what was the word? For sustainability.
Staff sustainability awareness.
This is what I discussed when you were up.
Okay, you discussed that. Okay.
Yes.
Better employee productivity.
Okay, so when you are an employee working at a sustainability engaged or a sustainability committed company, usually you have a better confidence and you have a better attachment to your company. There is two parts here to discuss. There is employee productivity and employee retention. Employee productivity is more related to the building that you are working in. When you have a building, a green building that promotes better thermal comfort at work, that promotes better well-being, that has less toxic materials, that has good views, that has all the measures that promote your health and promotes your well-being, then you will be, of course, more productive at work. So, and many studies have been done and show that really there is a correlation between a good, sustainable working place and the productivity of the employees. The second part is the employee retention, and this is more related to the image of the company and how much this company gives good training and good awareness for its employees. Because when you teach your employees that you have a sustainability culture and you teach them to have that embedded within their daily activities, first of all, they start to grow this value among them. Second of all, they become to have more confidence in their company because it's a company that has higher value. And third of all, they start being happy to work with this company, and they start having higher standards. So when they want to move to another company, they will not move to anything less than what they were used to. So this emphasizes retention and less turnover among employees, which is also an added benefit to the company.
It's a loyalty, two-way streets, as we say, between the company, between the owners towards the employees and the employees towards the owners. When you are happy in a company, you don't just pack and move. And if you move, as you said, you want something better. And then on your CV, when you are happy in a company, you will be glad to put their name on your CV because you take pride working to such company. And sustainability in a company on every level, let's say all the operation level is, as you said, the energy level and etc. that we're going to discuss. And we have the reducing waste as well that we're going to be discuss a little bit with you, okay, in terms of the environment, because we have someone specially coming to discuss waste management next week with us as well. Do you want to go back to the waste reduction a bit before we continue?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. It's very important to reduce waste because we, of all the people in Lebanon, know how much damage the waste can cause. So first of all, actually, this is one of the easiest measures that you can implement at a workplace or at home even. You just need to sort the waste. You can at least do plastic, paper, and organic material, for example. And then just partner with someone who can take these sorted recyclables and do something good with them. Unfortunately, we do not have the system implemented by the government on the whole country, which we hope will reach someday. But there are lots of local or personal initiatives being done. And the awareness is getting a lot higher. Even when we work with schools, we know that almost like maybe 70 or 80% of the schools now, they do recycling. They sort and recycle, and they even have their composting area where they throw the organic waste and use it later on. Yes, it's a very important measure. And also, I want to highlight something on the business level related to waste. Even when you are in a business, you can be in a business, for example, like construction business, when the activity of doing construction generates lots of waste. And I've read recently an example of one company. I'll remember its name in a bit. It's a UK company, one of the biggest residential construction companies in the UK. They decided in 2015 that they wanted to reduce the waste generated from their construction. It was called Bara development. They decided in 2015 that they want to start monitoring the waste being generated at their construction site, and doing workshops and training the employees on how to reduce this waste, and monitoring and controlling and evaluating and all of that. And by 2017, they were able to reduce 15,000 tons of waste, which was for them a saving of an excess of 850,000 pounds. So that waste reduction actually saved them 800,000 pounds. So it saved them lots of money, and they did a huge impact on the environment. They removed 15,000 pounds from going to the environment.
To the environment, back to the environment. Hell, I don't know if you know, there is this German company who was initiated by this backpackers who used to travel from one city to the other, and then he discovered in India the leaves of the tree that he could eat in. After that, he decided to start a business out of that, and there is a factory now in Germany that produces, instead of plastic plates, plates that will decompose if you throw them in the nature. After a picnic, you throw them on the ground and they will just decompose and go. So there is a lot to do in this world.
If we do that in our events, you know. We organize events, yes, but since we are committed to doing sustainable events, one of the last events that we did at the company was called the e-motor show for electric and hybrid cars. And we had a rule that no plastic should be available at the whole event. We had like 10,000 visitors, and we provided edible plates and cutlery, so you can eat the plate as well, not just what's in it.
Yeah, anyways.
And it's decomposable, of course.
What time did you do your event of the day?
We did it over 5 days, actually. It was in last April. It was starting 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. So it had lunchtime, dinner time.
So half of it was daylight. You were reducing the use of electricity, and that was very important because this is what people need to start doing. Anyways, just to let you know, I don't know if you're aware, there is the factory of recycling factory in Akkar that is in process of going back to operating and using and recycling a lot of waste from different areas, at least. So hopefully between that and finding the solution for the factory of Dhurushware, who they
but what kind of material?
Recycling. I don't know. I'm gonna work with them to see. I need to get more information from them. I know that from the factory of Dhurushware, they were able to reach zero waste. Okay, but the problem was with the smoke. So they were trying to find like a filter for the smoke in order to end that problem. The good thing is that you start with something. What's important is to continue if you are blocked with a problem, because this is how it is and this is how we learn. There is a small here point, less employee absenteeism, I guess, once you have loyalty and commitment to your company.
Yes, there's also something interesting called sick building syndrome, SBS. This is a kind of sickness that is identified by the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, as a sickness when a sickness that you get actually from caused by the building that you are working at, and you have no really actually cause for this illness, and it's just because of the building, and you get absent from that. It's official. They call it the SBS. And when you are working at an environmentally friendly building that has better indoor air quality, that has elimination of contaminants, better ventilation, all the essential measures needed in a green building, you will reduce your absenteeism due to such sicknesses.
Excellent point. It goes back to the well-being of the employee inside. To simplify it, it's the well-being at the end of the day of the employee. Brand empowerment and better brand equity. I just want to tell you a short story today, but that happened. I was with a group of people, and this lady was telling me that they do sell paint. They have a small shop where they sell paint. That before the economic crisis and before the COVID-19, etc., they weren't working well. But now with the COVID-19 and with the situation, with the lockdown, with everything we have in Lebanon, the whole package, they started working much more. And this goes back to empowering the small businesses around the corner, because they do truly, this is something I'm sure I guess you were going to discuss it somewhere here. So this will give us a good start to that topic, because like we always run to the big markets while we forget the small shop around the corner. And that is the, go ahead, please.
And it's not only about the small shop, it's about the local product. Instead of going and buying imported products, the current situation has enforced us to look for local products, which we should have been doing long ago. I hope this will be a stimulation for doing that always, not just because of the situation, because this will really empower workers at our country and production at our country, and make us less dependent of so many external factors.
Especially that in Lebanon, as manufacturing, we have a manufacturing of different brands, from food to material to clothing to everything. So there is no reason not to empower those brands, and especially to reach better brand equity. Increased business ability to comply with the regulation.
Yes, in many countries there are regulations that you have to follow regarding your emissions, your sustainability measures. So whenever your company is a sustainable one following these measures, you qualify for. First, you are. They approve lots of your requests. And also, you can get to be part of many international communities for sustainability. I don't know if you know, of course, you know the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. There are many networks like the UN Global Compact Network that promotes the companies who work on SDGs, that work on sustainability. So you will also have better connections. You will make use of many incentives. Also, many countries have tax incentives for companies that do sustainability measures and practices. These are one of the benefits for the businesses that work on sustainability as well.
It's like everything actually in town, even like take it at small part university level. You were at AUT and you were exposed to the world in terms of the development, and being encouraged to take an additional certificate from a different university abroad, having teachers coming there. This is very important, to be exposed to the outside world while being where you are, because this is how you go from one level to the other. Especially when we have students like you graduating from AUT, it is really a pride. Really, you raise the name of the university when you take that name and you escalate with it from one step to the other. In the sustainable world, as we're talking, this is so important. I just want to mention a little point before we move to the society level, that it is very important for all of us, if we can, as much as possible, to carpool instead of going 4 people from the same area to the same university or work or etc. It's very important to carpool and reduce the smoke on the streets and reduce all that. This is probably something we're going to discuss in the society, right?
Yes.
One of the points to improve quality level. Let's move to society a bit, because I truly want to cover the individual point, even if we're going to keep the people with us a bit listening this evening. On a society level, it is very important to work together and ensure that we are all like, we don't need to work to wait for someone to tell us do that. We can start one at a time, one step at a time. What is the smaller carbon footprint?
What is
Smaller carbon footprint.
smaller carbon footprint? A carbon footprint is, carbon is emission. So whenever you do actions that has less emissions or less impact on the environment, then you will have a smaller carbon footprint. And I'm going to go directly into the society subject.
Yes.
Something that I like, I believe in most when you want to build a sustainable society is partnerships. I truly believe in partnership, whether you are a business or an individual at your society. When you partner with your local municipality, with your surrounding NGOs, with any stakeholders that are related to your company to do actions related to sustainability, you will have a lot, much higher impact, and you will not be impacting only your circle, you will be impacting all the society around you. So I believe that partnership is key in all activities, and I'm sure that universities do that. I'm sure that AUT does that a lot with the societies here. I know that they do lots of activities that support better environment in the areas of their campuses. So this is very important. And also, actually, whatever measure you do on your business or on your personal level eventually impacts the society, because when you are contributing to a better air quality, or you are contributing to a better water quality, when you are reducing your waste and reducing pollution, you are not doing that just for yourself, you are doing that for the society, you are doing that and impacting everyone around you. So it's really an integrated approach to all that.
Exactly. And I want to, as well, I want to know from you, how can we help, okay, make our home a better place in terms of everything that is sustainable.
Green.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's on the personal level. I'm gonna help you. If there's anyone listening to us that is about to choose its house, or maybe design its home, or is lucky enough to be building a house, there are many tips that you can take into consideration that will make your house more environmentally friendly and more comfortable for you to live in the future. For example, let's talk about insulation, thermal comfort. When you make sure that your house is well insulated, you have better thermal comfort. You have less noise coming into your house. For example, you can make sure that you have a double wall apartment. You have a double glaze in your windows. Sometimes, if you didn't even yet build your house, you can choose the right orientation for your house. For example, many don't know that the best orientation for your main building facade is the south orientation, because the sun goes from east to west, and the studies shows that the best heat that you can get from the sun in the winter, when you need to warm your building, is when you have a south facing facade, for example. And in the summer, on the contrary, the sun will be very high, you won't get that heat, so you will also not need more cooling. So you'll be saving on your cooling and on your heating needs at your house. Another thing that also supports water efficiency at your house is making sure that all your faucets are water efficient. When you go and buy, you can easily ask your supplier of what is the efficiency of these faucets that you will install at your house. If you go search on Google, you will find directly the limits or the best recommended efficiency for the faucets. For example, for a regular faucet, an efficient one would be only 2 liters per minute. while out there you can find 8 liters per minute, 7 liters per minute, which is more than 3 times or 4 times what you really need. And you wouldn't feel that it's less of a pressure, because they have the right pressure, 3 bars usually. You wouldn't feel it's less water, but you'll be saving a lot on your water. Something that also I paid attention to while I was doing my project back in AUC 7 years ago. I had an internship with UNDP, and we had to go to a region called Hamas in the north. You probably know it, and to work with the local people there to measure their water consumption and provide them with devices that will save their water consumption and all. And what you notice there is that each house there had a rainwater collection tank built under the house or next to its house. I was surprised to know, why do they do that? We don't have that here. Because they were, for a period of time, they didn't get water to their town. So they had to improvise and do their own solutions. And each house and each building started having its own rainwater collection tank. They took the water coming from the rain, and they used it all year long, except for maybe 1 or 2 months in the summer, where it would dry off. But this was really a sustainable measure that they were doing. And now, again, all the green buildings that want to achieve certification, I recommend it to have a rainwater collection system, maybe a bit more advanced, but that collects water and saves lots of the consumption from the municipal water.
As well as, also, go ahead.
And also another advice is to put energy metering at your house, or water metering, sub-metering, so that you really know what equipment are consuming the most energy, and what devices are consuming water, so that you know how to monitor and control and reduce your consumption later on. This would be also a nice thing to add.
This is actually, I call it as an investment. You have to invest in your house once and for all, and after that you will be living really a better life, because you don't have the problems that are faced. As well, you can do the septic tank filtering to reuse the waters. That is something as well that is very important to improve. How can they improve water quality and air quality around their houses?
Air quality around their houses on the personal level, I'm not sure if you can control it. Maybe if you just plant some trees and have a natural environment surrounding your place, you will have better filtering for the air. But for the water quality, usually it's recommended to have a regular testing for water, to make sure that it's drinkable, that it's safe. You have to do that with the support of a lab. You cannot do your own water testing. And you can also sometimes add some filters or stuff, but usually the municipal water should be tested and made sure that it is well treated and adequate for the use that you want to use it for.
For any use, anytime it comes into a house or a business, you have to always test the water to know exactly what you're receiving inside the house. There is one point, did we discuss the fewer landfills and more renewable energy sources?
We discussed renewable energy, and I think, yes, landfills, we also discussed that through the reduction of waste and the sorting and the recycling.
Okay, and now on individual level, it is very important. We have many people listening and saying, hi, Rybale, and go Rybale. It's really interesting what you're discussing. It's really important for everyone to know. Just to let you know, guys, this session will be posted on iChannel once we're done. So you can feel free. I will put the link. You can go in and watch it. Take your time. And if you have any question, you can always come back and ask Rybale. You will know where to find her now. Building more efficient houses promotes well-being. The thermal comfort, we discussed it. Short-term and long-term cost saving from sustainability practices, like cost of water, e-mobility, etc. Can we move on that a bit more? You want to add anything on
that? Bottom line, any saving that you do on your energy or on your water that reduces the need for water or energy, or that makes it less consumption of water and energy, is directly impacting your bill. So it's reducing your costs, and this is what we really want from now on. We all care about reducing our costs on at least our main resources like water and energy.
The last point before we move to a very specific topic that I like to always discuss, what's the profit from tax incentives?
Tax incentives, or actually incentives in general, are when a government gives you as a business or as an individual a preferred loans or incentivized loans to do something green. For example, or blackest, they remove you, they exempt you from specific taxes because you are doing something green. In Lebanon, there are two applications of that, if you want to speak locally. For example, for the first part, BDL the past few years had announced the subsidized loans for any project developer that wants to build a new building or a project that is green certified. So if you register your project for a green certification, like for LEED or BREEAM or some of the certifications that I earlier mentioned, you get to take a loan for building your project at a very, very low interest rate, at 0.something%, which was very beneficial for project developers and incentivized them to actually construct greener buildings. And they also, and it was not only for certified green buildings, even if you do like measures like putting solar water heater, implementing like water efficient or energy efficient measures, they would give you a loan that's equivalent to the cost of those measures, at least at a low interest rate. For the second part, there is also a law for tax incentives in Lebanon. I think it's for the industrial sector. Where if you are a company and you have a plant and you reduce your emissions, you get exempted from a certain percentage of the tax. And in other countries, it's also implemented on lots of different levels. It always encourages the companies, especially the industrial companies, to work green in order to benefit from these financial incentives.
Actually, this is so important to turn any institution green, even the house, but basically institution because of the huge consumption of water, electricity they have throughout. And I know now that many universities, beaches, and schools are turning green. And I know that last year it was ACS that won the award for turning into the whole system, what we call green, under the green umbrella. Rybale, before we move to the school, what incident in your life made you, at your young age, become that involved into turning everything green and sustainable and working on that? What incident in your life?
Okay, question.
I like it.
I wouldn't say that there was a single one incident, but it's a progress. It's more like a series of things happening that led me towards where I am now. And like at each milestone of your life, you have to take a decision, and sometimes you just follow your gut and you reach where you are. I never knew that I'm gonna be working that much into sustainability, as I told you earlier, but I'm really happy that I am.
What school are you coming from? Where were you in high school years?
I was in the Rosary Sister School in Rybale.
Did you do lots of environmental activities?
Yes, we used to do environmental activities. We had an environmental club that I used to work with. I also was part of an environmental club at the university when I was doing my bachelor degree. And yes, I think that encouraged me to stay in that field and to want to work in it more. But I'm sure now there is a lot higher level of awareness at school than when I was at school, and there are lots of more engagement and more activism happening among the schools right now.
So, can you tell us what you are doing with the schools?
Of course. One of the projects that we work on at the Eco Solutions is the Green School Certification Program. And this is a program that aims to transform the public and the private schools in Lebanon into green certified schools. We started the program in 2015. And until this date, we have around 160 or 165 schools registered in the program, and about 60 or 65 of them are already certified as green schools. What we do is that we engage these schools in a holistic strategy with a full list of measures within 6 main categories, which are waste management, water efficiency, energy efficiency, green spaces, health and safety, and sustainability, education, and innovation. So within each of these 6 categories, there is a list of measures that the schools can and should do in order to become certified as green school. And we help them do it. We do their audits, we follow up with them, we connect them with NGOs who can help them and suppliers who can help them get the solutions they need. And then we evaluate at the end what they did. We have a scoring for them. And if they achieve the certification, then they will be rewarded. We have a yearly annual event that we do to reward these schools and give them their certification. And they have to maintain those certifications. Like every 2 years, they have to renew them.
Okay, but this is school level. Do you work with the students and the faculty body as well?
What we do within the measures, within the checklist of the program, there are measures focused on the students, there are measures focused on the building, and there are measures focused on the administration and the staff and the teachers of the school. So we work on these 3 dimensions of the school, and we empower all 3 of them because the 3 of them are needed in order for them to be in a truly sustainable school following a truly sustainable strategy. So yes, of course, we work on those. I don't work directly with the students, but we guide the teachers and the
You train them and guide.
administration on what they should do, and we help them do it. And then we also encourage having a green club at the school. We tell them what they have to do to become a green club, what minimum activities they have to do. And we recently, this year, we announced a green club competition for the clubs in the schools, and we encourage them to work. The theme was to eliminate single-use plastic at schools, and it was during the revolution time where the schools were closed. And even though that was happening, we got 25 schools that registered in the program and participated with very nice projects. We didn't get yet to announce the winners because, with the lockdown and everything, but hopefully we will recap on that soon.
Trust me, the students will be waiting. This is so important. And I guess this should go even to higher level, not only to schools. You should probably start with universities to have those clubs and move with you.
Yes, and there is one important thing that we also did for the students, because since you mentioned students, we started something called the Green Jobs Orientation Field Trip for the students to help them direct their careers towards more environmental careers. So we started with the first trip about 2 years ago to Paris. We took a group of students from the Green School, and took them to to places that are very well engaged in sustainability and that are very interesting for the students. Like, for example, we took them to the Renault factory where they manufacture the electric car, the Zoe Renault factory. We took them to see a wastewater treatment plant. We took them to La Cité des Sciences, like different, even to a company that's not working in sustainability, but that requires sustainability as a main department within it. Like, we took them to Tetra Pak that do the packaging, manufacture packaging, and we told them how the packaging should also be sustainable and how they choose people to work in sustainability. So they learned a lot, and we will hopefully be doing that more on yearly basis to teach them what kind of jobs they can get if they follow sustainable careers.
I know I've worked with the children for a long time, and I know that kids are fascinated by science and doing things, helping the environment. So I'm sure this is the right route, because this is what will lead to the future leaders who are gonna make this world a better place while we prepare it for them, hopefully. I want to show a video before we wrap up.
Yes.
Okay. And then we will...
I just want to say something before you show the video, that this video is one that we produce with students from actual green schools who have implemented green measures. And these were like short ads that we put them together just to show what kind of attitude the students get after they learn at a green school. And this is said by them, they're online.
Okay, let's just see 1 second.
نحن بمدرستنا كل ولد بيزرع شجرتين، لأنه خلال السنين الدراسية نستعمل الورق قد شجرتين، وانتم بتعرفوا إنه الورق بيجي من الشجر، ما هيك؟ نحن بمدرستنا اخترعنا شيء اسمه ضبط بيئي، بيدفعوا كل واحد خرب أو لوث أو هدر البيئة. شو رأيكم نعممها بكل البلد؟
Not gonna bore you with a speech, but I am gonna sing for you. Go green, be green. Let me show you what I mean. Take that bottle and throw it in the trash, then you might get a little cash.
نحن بالمدرسة علمونا كيف نحل مشاكل البيئة. نحن شباب المستقبل، نحن جايين نحل كل هول المشاكل، ونحن الجيل يلي كنا ناطرينه. نحن بمدرستنا يا هيك اوتوكار يا بلا. هلا يمكن فكرنا جايين من غير كوكب لانه حاطين السانشور، بس على القليله نحن بامان. I want to tell you something. In my school, they have a special paint, the eco paint, and it's really good for your body and your smell. See you later.
أنتم لكم زبالتكم، ونحن عنا زبالتنا، وبمدرستنا عم نفرزها ونبيعها ونطلع منها مصاري، وبهالمصاري عم نعمل مشاريع مفيدة لكل التلاميذ.
In our school, we have 3 magical words. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. نحن بمدرستنا ما في شيء ممنوع ناكله لأن كل شيء بيو، حتى التشيبس بيو.
Can you live one day without water? One day without showering or drinking or washing? If we keep on wasting water, that day will come. In our school, we save 50% of our water every day. When I grow up, I'll be an environmental lawyer.
وأنا بدي أصير مهندس بالطاقة المتجددة.
أنا بدي أكون خبيرة بالأعمار البيئية. أنا عالمة بالبيئة البحرية.
ونحن بمدرستنا بيحضرونا لمهن بيئية عندها أقوى مستقبل.
نحن بمدرستنا بطلنا ندفع فواتير كهرباء، صرنا نولد كهرباء. من وين؟ ولو واضحة مثل الشمس.
هيدا جيل المدارس الخضراء، جيل مسؤول عن بيئته. سجل مدرستك اليوم.
Excellent. Excellent. Actually, it's so important. It's a very nice, it's really a strong message about from the future leaders of the world. Yani, really, how would you like to summarize everything in one word before we wrap, so we can wrap up?
I can summarize by saying we can do what we want to do. We shouldn't say that it is. Of course, the government has its responsibility and duty, but we all also have our responsibilities and duties. And I believe that when you want to do something and you really believe in it, you can always find a way, even if you do it in small steps. But you can always achieve, and every little impact has its own value.
Rybale and Hage, thank you so much. Really a very informative session. I want to thank you. I want to thank AUT for that degree يلي عملوه. I want to thank you for عن جد taking the world to a different place, because I'm sure those children you are working with in their schools, I'm sure you are they're gonna grow up to be better citizens. This is so important. Exactly. This is so important. Now we're going to have a session on waste management next week. We will announce it in due time. As Rybale said, and as we always say, we don't have to wait for someone to start something. You can start yourself, start in the community, and then blame others for not moving on with you. But at least you would have started. Anytime you start something, it's contagious. If it's positive, I'm sure your neighbor will move with you. And this way, we can hold one hand with the other. We can make this world a better place. Rybale, thank you very much. And we'll see you soon, inshallah. Take care.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.